Hello, it is Sunday, 15th day of September 2019. My name is Derek. Let's start off with all that, all the bets, trade stuff like that. It's at your own risk. It's your own reward. Sarcasm meter. Oh, this Bitcoin market. It's really exciting, really showing a lot of great movements as it continues to really do nothing for the most part. I decided yesterday to run the first of two planned improv giveaways. Yesterday's was won by Papa Loves Pie, which I predicted in the video that he would win. And then for the second one, I predict nobody's going to win, and everyone's got the same. I can't say everyone's got the same chance. I just don't know who would have a better chance than anyone else, other than maybe computer nerds, because it's not going to be a contest where you guess things or have knowledge of trivia and stuff like that. None of that type of stuff. But definitely something I've never done before or even seen before because it's what I thought of. But that's going to be improv, and that's not today, that's not tomorrow, but that will be coming soon. And the giveaway was in guess, but it really wasn't much of a guess, of a song parody that I have just completed writing from the band Meatloaf. And the song I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. And I've basically titled it. I will sell everything for silver, anything for silver, but I won't do that. And it should be pretty obvious of what that is when, of course, you hear the lyrics. But that won't come out either tonight. I practiced it last night. I actually like how it is, and probably gonna put it out on Monday or Tuesday. So Papa Loves Pie put a comment in the more information box with the coin that you'd like, and I can send the value of an ounce of silver. All right, now requests were made yesterday, and also from that, let's take a look at KNC first, and we'll start it quickly off against the dollar. You can't. There's no network against the tether on Binance that this can be traded at. But if you want to trade against the dollar, you can pretty much ratio trade it like I do with a lot of the stuff that I do. But really, just hanging in there really for the entire end of last year and all of this year with a tight trading range between 40 cents and 10 cents because that's only four times. I'm sarcastic again, but not that much because Forex isn't even that large of a move in the crypto space. And like everything else, having extreme volatility and downward movements within the crypto space. As on the BTC scale, 3,300 up to 10,000, and that was the start of this year. Up to well, actually, this is a bit of a surprise because the a lot of these altcoins topped around April the 1st, but I guess not really because this is April. I mean, this is when the downtrend started. It's just it had a phenomenal move, and when we look at it, how it plays out in the 18, not all of the time when it starts to turn over. It's well, this one started turnover had a good move here, and then this was just a move here. But after this rally on December the 1st, I wasn't able to get anything going there after the fact. This one in here, God, had a nice little move, but and it had a nice correction. The failed breakout occurring on January the 6th, and it's good to state the stuff like failed breakout because there's a lot of reason why within the day when this was a green candle shooting up, you're like, oh, Pete, we gotta get in this market, gotta get in this market, and of course, well, it didn't work out, at least not then, but in a spot like this, you establish resistance, hold it for a while, have a good correctionary mode, and when it broke this resistance, there was two fantastic legs higher, as the one on March the 1st, and then over the 2 days of March the 8th and March the 9th. And over those 2 days, it was 4,600 up to over 10,000, or better, but a 2.5x. But the major moves down. So you're at an area of like 10,000. Now we're at 1,400, and we're starting to see an interesting situation here because we look and see things like all of these situations trying to revert it just from this high point here. We go above the highs, but not even able to make the band flatten. This one, the band's flat, and it even has a second attempt that failed breakout. No. Little bit of an attempt, but not able to get much above the highs. Huge. Huge in here, but just like uh, not enough to flatten the band out. Here, it failed breakout. Here we have this move here, but what's been happening since is the market's made this low, which is where the resistance here was. So that's a little bit of an upgrade. And this resistance has been supporting it. So when we talk about probability odds of events like this to occur, they're always going to be higher in markets when you have situations like this and spots where you're looking at previous resistance being taken out, holding and staying above and congesting in these areas it doesn't spend much time at, having spots on these newly rising 18 averages like this, having breaks of short-term resistance, and getting nicely but not too far ahead of the band. Well, that's when you can have the probability odds for those moves to be much, much higher than they would on so many other previous given days, which is most of them that we have seen in the past. And now let's take a look at this cross against Ethereum. Its trend from day one has never changed. And that is where support, resistance, and really its overall volatility lies. There's support, resistance, and well, that's that. That's the trend. There's been situations where maybe it tried to get above, and now it's at the upper end of this resistance again. When this market goes up, that means Kyber network is overperforming Ethereum, and on the opposite end, Ethereum overperforming such. And one of the things I talk about in ratio markets, or we're trading buy low, sell high, that as long as your market doesn't go down, it doesn't go down big. Meaning, as long as it goes up, sideways, or barely down, then you're going to be fine, and you're going to do well. And when you see this, the whole point I'm getting to in saying such is that this market, I mean, these choppy moves going when you look at the highs and the lows, and we're going to even see this more. I'm going to show you the daily term after this, and I'm even going to shorten it even a bit more after that because the daily term, it's only three differentials from this, and just to show you all the other opportunities for like what happened in here kind of deal, stuff like that. As far as how this is looking, as far as the pattern's concerned, this looks like a nice little possibility that it might be able to maybe test some of this empty area in here. But as far as the market goes, this was at like 65,000 now it's at 11, so it's 6 times lower. But this is one where if you're getting these type of choppy moves, the amount of coins you can own on both sides, if you've been at this for like a long time and you take advantage of these swings back and forth, because of this volatility, the prospects for these types of gains that come within this, well, they can be magnificent. Now, quick look at the daily chart. Then we're going to go to the 1/3 day or 8 hour. We can see the nice little setup in here. But we see all of these situations in here where we have moves like this. This is why I want to go to the 8 hour, just to get a little bit better look at its volatility to have. But even just moves in here, this is a high of 10.5. This is a low of like under 8. So that's volatility of like, well, from this low to this high, it's like closer to 30% than 20. And amongst the 8, I'm showing a whole bunch of periods on this, all the maximum that I can show. So when we take a look at these moves, are these order exclusive? And wow, there's a lot of them. Because when I talk about big moves, there's really a couple ways, main ways of having it. This one here takes a lot of time. You can watch the market play out to get there. And then what's the story with these that happen over and over? And every single one of these is to the upside. You're not seeing the polar opposite of these kinds of moves, which would be the lines going down. I guess maybe a little bit here, but that really is about all that's shown right now. But in going back, and this is now November 2017, we can take a look at some of these volatile moves. So this is 8 hour chart, but everything doing its normal thing. Big down move, 40,000 down to 20. This is losing half your value. And the opportunities in here just to flip things back and forth. 22,000 up to 30, back down to 20. And just these little moves that you see in here. Up and then back down. And as we continue forward, let's take an investigation at these lines. We're now into 2018. And you see a failed breakout here. Nice little leg lower after the fact there. So here's a spot where if you had a, it looks like most likely you would have need to have a buy order in for this. I'm not going to shorten out and go back on March 24th and see what happened. But the volatility numbers 28,000 high, 20,000 low. If you take 28 subtract 20, that's 8. If you do 8 and you divide it by 20, you're going to get 0.4. That's 40% volatility. This move in here, this is one where you didn't have to have orders in, although they work, just get the sell. But one that you probably should have enough time to see on April 25th. Oh, nice little breakout, 30 up to about 52. And continuing further, and these are the type of movements that happen in cryptos. They can be quite frequently, just continuous motion. But you realize it just can't continue. These they just can't continue to stay in that same primary direction. At some point, it's going to change, and here's those parts of the some point and volatility amongst this key high, key low, key high, key low. So many of them that the opportunities to just keep on flipping back and forth, where you're up to 20, down to 18, up to 20, and then in here from like 24 down to 20. Maybe that might not be volatility you're looking for. You're looking for a bit bigger, but they'll still play itself out when as it will. So here's one of those spots on August the 21st last year where this when you look at something like this tells you that most likely if you were to look at the 1 hour 15-minute term time frame, that it probably would have taken maybe an hour, 2 hours, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get up there. It would have been a situation probably at a fall like this where the upper end might have only been available for 5, 20 minutes maybe. But most likely, a little bit of this might have been available for an hour or two over like 20. Does But that's because it's got the good green candle movement and it held at least a bit of that move. But you have to be fast or have orders in there. And those volatility movements are massive. 16,000 going up to about 28. 12 divided by 16, that's not quite 1, but that shows you it's a little under 100% volatility, like in the a 70-80 range. Here's a spot where you see the market from this low. It goes from 16 and, well, obviously working in sell territory. And there's your top. Markets go up, markets go down. That's just how it works. Another failed breakout in here. Not the biggest one here, but you can still take advantage of moves like this. And, well, spots like this, if you are selling on the way up, all the buy orders you've placed in here, it's you work out sell, sell, maybe sell, and then you're buying up here what you sold up here maybe, and then you have orders in ready just to sell to buy what you did in here. And they would fill this point, and then maybe you had one order hit here, maybe you had one order hit here. So the bottom order you're going to sell immediately, and the other order you'll try to sell higher. Stuff like that can happen. And of course, you get big moves when cryptos are ready to go. Well, there's one of the spots. Boom, 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 like five, 6 candles in a row, or a couple days going straight. 12 handle up to about 30. That's 2.5x. And now markets go up, markets go down. That's up, and that's obviously down. I teach that to people or kids in grade 1 and 2. But another one of these moves, and this one here, it's you probably had to have your order in. This thing was going up, but obviously only price pays, and the opportunities were there. And nothing shows these up and down choppy movements are coming to a completion as we now see this market as of now. Let's move on to Neo. As this was another set of requests, and within it, well, it's the first one. There was like so many coins. So I'm only going to do just, I'm going to do the first one because that's what I was always going to do anyway. When someone put a lot, the first one you do is pretty much the one that will get done. And this was the first one written. And this one's like a big high risk, high reward one. It's almost like the Ethereum for that of China. But what do we see in here? Going back, it's just with nothing but straight down. Markets go up, markets go down. I've said that so many times. And well, obviously, key low, key high. Lows and highs are known after the fact. So you're like, oh, we're gonna have a low here, high, major, major higher low. No, oh, high, low here, higher low still. Nope. Oh, pierce above matching low. Nope. Pierce below matching low. No. Okay. This low. No. Right now here, probably not. But this was a key low. This was a key high. At some point, I have to think there's going to be a key high above here, and how high it's going to go. Well, another way of looking at it, if this load, I mean, what a nice move it would have been if it would have been able to maybe have a great move above this resistance. And then even from here to maybe get close to the high, near the high, or possibly above it. Now, if this market can go from here, even to here, this is huge. As far as a significant rally. Yeah, there were points up here, but that wasn't good enough. It wasn't a big enough move for me to count it. Now, there's a lot of key highs and lows from the key high to where we stand today. As there was this low, this high, this low, this high. But the primary downtrend, of course, has had no change yet. It's just within the pattern of these lower highs and lower lows, that's where it stands. Now, I got a little bit more data if I look at the Bittrex point of view. And in doing so, amongst the triple day, let's look at these key highs and key lows. As we have a key low, key high, key low, key high, and as of now, right now, this is that key low. And the volatility moves even from here to here. This is like, yeah, that's just like a small part of it. Yeah, the small part of it was going from 002 to single O like 13. That's like 5, 6, 7x just this here, let alone the type of rally it had in that fast period of time. Because when these things go, you can just have tremendous moves. But it's been a tremendous, consistent move to the downside. It will be till it's not, and when it's not, that means either this thing is over for it or it's having a nice start of a great new uprun. And a ratio was requested with the Dash and Zen ratio, and to say it's volatile or has been is an understatement. I will show it on the 8-hour time frame, like I did in the like I did earlier with the Ethereum one. But within this, we have an upper part here, the recent high of about 24, and the lows from May at about 9. So it's done better than double in this time, with these up and down choppy movements that can go along the way. So let's take a look at the earliest I got within this on the 8-hour time frame and then move forward. And we're back in May of 2018. This thing is around 10. And it has its little rally up to the 15 area. But as we see going further, it loses about half its value and then it loses more. Markets go up, markets go down. Anything from here to here that is extraordinary? Well, one thing of way of looking at it is in a downtrend, you're obviously primarily going to be selling what is on the right hand side, which would be that of Zen. But as far as opposite trends, like you'd be like selling Zen, buying Dash, but the opposite. Well, so in here the markets go down, in here Markets go down. If you're able to get this, oftentimes this is because it was a fast move. Maybe one market had a quick sell, so you might not take advantage of it. But you'd also get situations where you're going to be selling maybe so many different points that these are like relief sort of plays in a way. It's always nice to get them because those little plays help out. You're going to lose in a spot where you have a market like this. You go from here to here. You're gonna sell a decent amount of coins like the Zens, but because they go up and go down in two different directions, I don't know why I did that again, but goes up. There you go. Goes up. So all the coins that you accumulate on the way down, obviously you're going to sell. And it's not your job to be able to predict, oh, this is going to be a bottom here, or this is, or I thought it was going to go below 650 and I was wrong. It's just when you see this happen, you're like, oh, good thing I bought all the way down here because now I'm able to well, sell on the way up. And as we continue on, and even just these little choppy moves in here, I think are pretty cool. You have like 10.5 up to 1170, back and forth, just getting some small profitability along the way. Now we move into 2019. Nice choppy action in here. You got the upper end here back in January, which was 16, and then it falls to like 14. I guess, well, it's 16 and a half down to about 14. That's 2.5. That's nothing too overall fantastic, actually. But for short term moves, it's pretty good. Now, this in here, when you have moves like this, going from 16 to 13, that's a bit better. Up move 13 to 17 and change, and down to 14. This was back in the spring. And as we continue on going forward, just this type of stuff here. If you can get it on the game in here, even the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7% moves, and they just happen to be back and forth so often, they can transpire into huge gains. It's almost, well, almost it is, using the principles of compounded interest. And when you just have many sample sizes, many, a lot of volume, and a lot of opportunities, that you can make growth happen in things like this very big. And then here, this is where volatility. This is more recent term. This is last month and month and a half ago, where you have volatility like this. Just a sweet situation. 16 3/4 down to 12.5, back and even more higher. And that's where it stands right now. So thank you for tuning in to this video, and I'll talk to you later on. Bye bye.